everyone, I'm back with the second part to my Weight Watchers journey, where I'm going to pick up in early 2008, mid 2008, and kind of go through the various things that got me where I am here today. So as I mentioned in my last video, in 2008, following Weight Watchers and getting into correct medications for my Hashimoto's and underactive thyroid, I hit the top end of my goal weight and I was healthy and active and thriving. I can't really say the same for my marriage at the time, and I'm not going to go into tons of details. You guys don't want to hear the boring bits about that, but suffice it to say that I was unhappy. And in August of 2008, my now ex-husband and I split and separated, and I subsequently went through what a friend of mine calls the divorce diet. I guess it could go either way, but mine went, it was just really hard, and I lost a lot of weight. Probably around the time that we separated, I was below 130, maybe 126, 125, and I know at one of my weigh-ins during that time period, I hit 113, which is lower than even I want to be. And certainly not sustainable from a lifetime perspective because I was hardly eating. But, you know, as life has a tendency to do, it goes on. My husband and I finalized our divorce. I met my now husband that fall, and everything sort of normalized. I was so much happier, for one thing. I was still taking all of the medications and supplements that I had been started on a year before. But as is the tendency when you start going out with somebody new, you know, a little bit too much food and drink. And from 2008 to, I don't know, probably 2012, my weight sort of boomeranged around. But since my journey with Weight Watchers, I have been very careful to watch the number on the scale. I weigh every day. I understand that not everyone can do that. I use it simply as a tool for me to go, okay, whoa, rein it in. So if I'm happy at 125, for example, if over the course of a week, week and a half, it starts 126, 127, 126 and a half, 128, that kind of thing, then I will start to rein it in. So never during this period did I let it go past 132. I hate being above 130. It just does not feel good on me. So I was very careful to rein that in. In the summer of 2012, I was getting ready to change jobs, and my physician, the one who treats my thyroid, has always encouraged me to try yeast-free for a period of time in order to rid my body of candida and to help with some of the health-related issues. And so in August of 2012, I went yeast-free for 2 months. Wow, did the weight come off. But it is a very restrictive diet, especially the first 2 weeks. It's basically no bread, no sugar substitute, no dairy, no beans, no corn, no starchy vegetables. It's essentially like meat and green vegetables. That's really what it comes down. Oh, and no processed meat. So no lunch meat, no bacon, that kind of thing. It's just plain old lean meat and plain old green vegetables, and that's it. But I felt really good. I accomplished what I wanted to accomplish from a yeast-free standpoint. And I did lose weight. I probably dropped back down to about 121, and that was all very good. In early 2013, I actually was laid off from the contract position I had taken in the fall of 2012, and I spent a couple of months looking for another job, which I did eventually find one. But one of the things that happened was I had to make a choice. My current doctor at the Hotze Health and Wellness Center is not an insurance doctor. He does not accept insurance or file it. So a lot of what I do for my health comes out of my pocket, and or through, you know, some generosity of family members. And I had to make the really tough decision to kind of zero down on what I was doing from a monetary perspective. So I had to make some health sacrifices, and I was doing okay. I ultimately went back to my PCP, my regular doctor, and explained the situation to him and asked if he would take over a portion of my care at the same level, and he said yes. So that was probably my first mistake, was in 2013 kind of zeroing down on what I was doing to maintain my health. But in 2014, I shouldn't say I was struggling. The job kicked in, the new one I had. I'd been there just under a year, and it was busy. But I was happy. I was happy with my weight. I was still well under 132, and I was fairly happy with my health. In the fall of 2013, though, my husband had a back surgery, and then he had another one in April of 2014. And there was a lot of stress and a lot of things going on that, it was hard. And we regrouped. And in the fall of 2015, I actually left the company I was working for at the time and jumped over to a job I thought was going to be like that one that gets you to the next level. And it not only was not the job that was going to get me to the next level, it was awful in so many ways. And it was so bad that I quit the first week. I was so stressed out. I was so upset. It was an emotional time. It physically took its toll on me. And in April of 2015, I was just crashing. So in May of 2015, after securing employment elsewhere, I made the decision to do whatever was necessary to go back to the Hotze Health and Wellness Center and take better care of myself. So I started back up on the regimen at the end of May of 2015, and that has been where I have been since. Now, tellingly so, I was worried about my weight because I was creeping up and hovering around the 130 mark, and I wasn't happy there. And so I began to restrict calories. I began to exercise more, and I was still struggling. I finally went to him. I went back for a follow-up appointment in September of 2015, and I think we finally got some things mostly right. We're still sort of tweaking. And I had mentioned to him, I was having a difficult time losing weight, and he said, well, let's see, give it, 30, 60 days. And at the end of November, as I approached Thanksgiving, I realized it wasn't just that I was having some health problems, thyroid related, that was making it difficult to lose weight. It was that I had gotten sloppy. And I was trying to count calories and still eating things that were not right for me. So I said, I'm going to go back to my solution, right? What is my solution? My solution is always Weight Watchers. So shortly after Thanksgiving, at the beginning of December, I actually logged in and realized that they had completely changed the plan. And the more I looked into Smart Points, the more I realized that it really meshed with what I was trying to do. And one of the things I had been trying to do for multiple reasons is to eat better for me foods. Over the course of 2012, when I went yeast-free, and 2013, and 2014, one of the things I had realized were there are certain things I just can't eat. And it doesn't mean I don't adore them, but I can't eat them. Too much fried food. Can't eat it. Inulin and chicory, which they typically add to a lot of, particularly under the old Points Plus plan, to a lot of processed foods in order to bulk up the fiber. So the old Points Plus plan, if you remember, high fiber was rewarded with lower points. So their dog came out with all these products, the Fiber One bars and the Weight Watcher stuff, and they bulked up the fiber. Well, they do it with chicory root. Can't eat it. Too much dairy. Can't eat it. So I was starting to already make choices that were better for me. And in the late part of 2014 and early part of 2015, I started following a blog called 100 Days of Real Food and made a vow to try to cut out all the processed foods. And I read a lot, and you can see some of the information about that in my other videos related to Hashimoto's, but it was really eye-opening. And so since then, I have tried to balance out processed and fast foods from my life and fill the spaces back in with more whole foods and more healthy foods. I still eat processed foods, and you guys have seen my videos, right? I like pop chips and I eat regular bread rather than running off to a bakery and buying the super duper unprocessed kind of breads. But like all things in life, you have to make choices, and it's all about balance. But Smart Points really meshed well. I thought, wow, Weight Watchers is finally rewarding us for eating fruits and vegetables and low-fat cheeses and things like that. So I jumped on board. I suppose people would think I was nuts for doing it and diving back in before Christmas, but it actually gave me an opportunity to kind of think through it and approach Christmas without being like, oh, I'm just going to put it off until after Christmas or after the New Year. It gave me a chance to sort of ease into it and not hold myself too horribly accountable. But I joined or reactivated, whatever the word you want to use, December 12th. And, I've lost about 8 pounds. I'm really close to, I'm well below my Weight Watchers goal, and I'm really close to my personal goal. So I know it's going to be a little bit harder, but I like the fact that I can make healthy choices and still obviously limit my calories to the point where I can lose weight, but I don't feel deprived. I really don't. So that's a little bit about my second half of my Weight Watchers journey, the ups and downs as life always brings us from '08 through the early part here now of 2016. I have a request from a subscriber to open up and do a Q&A kind of thing. So I have my first Q&A question. And I have decided that, yes, I will do a Q&A question. I realized that maybe there are some things about either my health and or my weight loss and maintenance that may be of interest to people because I am so close to goal. So I'm going to open up the floor for Q&A. I encourage you to leave your questions, whatever they may be, here at the bottom in the comment section of this video, and I will start to compile those and pull together a Q&A video. I think that of interest, like I said, you may find both the sort of the ups and downs of a journey and what it takes to get to goal, what it takes to stay at goal and maintain and, be healthy, especially in light of all the things that happen in the real world around you. So feel free to ask any questions that you like, but you may find something of interest in those categories that you would like to ask. I will say that maintenance is not easy, and you can never really become sort of complacent. That's not even the right word. Maybe it just doesn't ever really become 100% autopilot. How about that? You can't just find a groove and never think about it again, because you just can't. But you can't become obsessive about it either. So I encourage you again, happy to take questions. I'm going to compile all those and start pulling together a Q&A video for you guys. If you like this video and want to see more, be sure to subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and I will talk to you guys soon.